438 Theodosian Code of Roman laws is proclaimed in the Western Empire, first law reform since 295. 619 Boniface V begins his reign as Catholic Pope. 962 under future Emperor Nikephoros II Phokas, Byzantine troops storm the city of Aleppo and recover the tattered tunic of John the Baptist during the Arab-Byzantine Wars. In 1482 the Peace of Atrecht now was concluded between Louis Roman XI of France and Maximilian of Austria, ending the War of the Burgundian Succession. In 1493 Georg Alt's German translation of Hartmann Schedel's The Nuremberg Chronicle is published. Day of the Dagger 1588 The Day of the Dagger, Henry, Duke of Guise, leader of the Catholic League, is assassinated by the bodyguards of King Henry Roman III at the Château de Blois. In 1672 Giovanni Cassini discovers Saturn's second largest moon. Last Catholic Monarch Flees 1688 King James Roman II, the last Roman Catholic British monarch, flees to France from William of Orange. Flamsteed fails to recognize Uranus 1690 English astronomer John Flamsteed observes Uranus without realizing it is undiscovered. In 1692 Nahum Tate is appointed the third Poet Laureate by English monarchs William and Mary. In 1715 Russian-Prussian troops occupy Stralsund Land Guardian. 1724 Emperor Charles VI names Archduchess Maria Elizabeth of Austria Land Guardian of the Austrian Netherlands. In 1751 France sets plan to tax clergymen. In 1776 Continental Congress negotiates a war loan of 181,500 from France. Benedict Arnold Court-martialed. 1779 American Revolutionary officer Benedict Arnold Court-martialed for improper conduct and profiteering. Washington resigns as Commander-in-Chief. 1783 U.S. General George Washington resigns his military commission as Commander-in-Chief of the Army to Congress. In 1788 Maryland vote to cede a 10-square-mile area for District of Columbia. Goya swears oath to the King. 1808 Painter Francisco Goya swears an oath of loyalty to Joseph Bonaparte as King of Spain during the Napoleonic occupation of Spain. 1823 Visit from St. Nicholas by Seymour published in Troy N.Y. Sentinel. In 1830 two Dutch troops in Antwerp surrender. In 1834 Joseph Hansom of London receives patent for hansom cabs. In 1852 first Chinese theatre opens in U.S., the Celestial John in San Francisco. Davis labels Beast Butler a felon. 1862 Jefferson Davis proclaims Union General Ben Beast Butler a felon, outlaw and common enemy of mankind. In 1866 first yacht race across the Atlantic won by the schooner Henry Vetter owned by Gordon Bennett of New York, first to reach Bishop Rock in the Scilly Isles after racing from NY. In 1876 Turkey's first constitution proclaimed, transferring more power to elected representatives. Van Gogh cuts off ear. 1888 Vincent van Gogh cuts off part of his left ear with a razor after an argument with fellow painter Paul Gauguin and sends it to female courtesan for safekeeping. Hansel and Gretel. 1893 opera Hansel and Gretel by Engelbert Humperdinck and his sister Adelheid Wette premieres in Weimar, conducted by Richard Strauss. In 1899 British Field Marshal Lord Roberts departs Southampton for South Africa for the Second Boer War. In 1899 tentative Turkish-German treaty for the construction of the Baghdad Railway. In 1900 as American forces defeat Filipino insurgents and impose civil authority, some Filipinos form a federal party with a platform recognizing U.S. sovereignty. In 1907 first all-steel passenger railroad coach is completed in Altoona, Pennsylvania. In 1909 Albert I becomes the third king of the Belgians. The Jewels of the Madonna. 1911 Ermanno Wolf-Ferrari's opera I Gioielli della Madonna. The Jewels of the Madonna premieres at the Curve Astenauper in Berlin, Germany, sung in German as Der Schmuck der Madonna. In 1911 Frank Wedekind's play Oher, Die Satire der Satire premieres in Munich. In 1912 a Swan-Low Dam in Nile begins operation again, after being raised for the first time. First Keystone Cops film. 1912 First Keystone Cops silent slapstick comedy film, entitled Hofmar's Legacy, is released. In 1912 Indian Revolutionary Underground in Bengal and Punjab, headed by Rash Bahari Bose attempt to assassinate Viceroy of India Lord Hardinge by throwing homemade bomb into Viceroy's Howdah elephant carriage during ceremonial procession in Delhi. Although wounded, the Viceroy survives. Investigations lead to the Delhi conspiracy trial. Federal Reserve Act 1913. President Woodrow Wilson signs the Federal Reserve Act, establishing the modern central banking system of the United States to manage the money supply and promote financial stability. In 1914, World War I, Australian and New Zealand troops arrive in Cairo, Egypt. Very Good Eddie 1915, Jerome Kern and Shiloh Green's musical Fast Very Good Eddie premieres at the Princess Theatre. Nick runs for 341 performances. In 1916, World War I, Battle of Maghtaba, Allied forces defeat Turkish forces in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. In 1917, 3 British warships come close to Holland. In 1919, Alice H. Parker patents a gas heating furnace. In 1919, first hospital ship built to transport wounded naval personnel is launched. In 1920, Government of Ireland Act Home Rule Act passes, partitioning Ireland. Gambino enters US. 1921, gangster Carlo Gambino enters the United States as an illegal immigrant on the SS Vincenzo Florio. Visvabharati University 1921, Visvabharati University is inaugurated in Santiniketan, West Bengal, India, founded by Rabindranath Tagore. On the Peace of Christ 1920, to Pope Pius Roman XI pleas for peace in encyclical Ubia Arcano de Concilio on the Peace of Christ in the Kingdom of Christ. In 1923, Yankees pitcher Calme sold to Reds for $85,000. The Last Laugh 1924, German silent film classic A Last Laugh directed by F.W. Murnau and starring Emil Jannings is released. In 1926, KXAM in Portland begins radio transmissions. In 1928, NBC establishes a permanent coast-to-coast radio network. In 1930,